Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard! Kai Havertz in the Champions League final! Ivanovic! In the middle, it's just behind him, but it's swept in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver! Matic takes the net off!
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode...
Well, we're all getting married and the hottest venue in town is the Dewsbury-Hall. Oh, welcome back everyone to another episode of At the Bridge Pod. I'm joined in the virtual room filled with some Lions. We've got Ollie. We've got Chris. Berth skipped out because he doesn't want to lose Lone Army Carousel, which is fair. It's fair. We'll welcome him to the Friday show on a Thursday, which could become the new title of the Friday show. Look. What are you looking forward to this Friday and weekend?
Well, the England game's on, isn't it?
Couldn't give a shit.
Other than that, I kind of got nothing.
I don't know if looking forward to is the right term to use. So,
I mean,
one of those.
For me, Friday is not the weekend, but it's a world-class pairing of games because you've got Spain-Germany, which is the final, essentially, and then Portugal-France, which I was hoping a bit more fireworks. That could be a really boring game considering how both of those teams have been playing.
Screams 0-0, doesn't it?
It does. Weekend-wise, though, baking, chilling, just classic. Just classic.
Usual.
The usual. It's not a quiet one for me. But we're going to go straight to Shevva's shoutouts because we've got another one. Oh, we've reeled one in. I've got to get this right. Diggity Daz, 78. Yes. Nailed it. And if you tell me I got it wrong, don't leave me alone. Right. My go-to Chelsea pod. Love the show. Been listening since the beginning and feel like I know you all. Keep up the good work and looking forward to many more years of insight and opinions on my favourite club, up the Chelsea.
Thank you very much.
At least someone
Very
thinks
nice.
we've got insight.
We get a lot of for all the fan we get a lot of really nice fan mail on this show.
We do.
We get a little bit of hate mail, but it's not as much as the fan
No one's
mail.
turned up at my house yet and just, thrown eggs at it yet. So waiting for that.
That's
Waiting.
good.
I'm waiting for it. On that note, let's hit the news. Let's go to the elevator of Chelsea news, find out what we may or may not have missed. Bing X have been unveiled as Chelsea's new training kit sponsor. Moises Caicedo won back-to-back Man of the Match awards at the Copa America for Ecuador. David Beeston, co-head of Fenway Sports Management and a NHL Penguins alternate governor, is stepping down. Apparently he's joining the private equity firm Clear Lake Capital. Don't know who he is? Neither do I. Christopher Vavell becomes new Manchester United Director of Recruitment. That could end well. Carney Chukwuemeka's contract includes a 40 million release clause. Chelsea have set to sign Lucy Bronze and have signed Julia Bartel after their Barcelona exits. And finally, the commentator, I really should have made my references to check the references. I'm waffling. I should have checked my pronunciations here because basically there was a commentator of a match between Excrucionistas, and Argentino. What?
Okay then.
Yeah, that was excruciating for people listening.
Yeah.
And it was an Argentinian Premier B game. That's essentially what. Yeah. He didn't know that his auto tune was on during the game. So on that note, I've saved this so you didn't see it till today. Roll that VT.
Abrió la cancha otra vez con Cabrejas, el centro al área. Le queda Scaramucci, la volea. ¡Gol! Número 11 de Scaramucci para abrir el marcador con una tijera bárbara. Golazo del verde.
Honestly,
That is excellent.
If anyone is still listening after that, I will be astonished.
it was the best. I think all commentary should have that now. I just can't.
That would be funny.
I would love to hear Gareth Southgate explaining again why it's been why he's played so, cautiously with that sort of auto tune on.
Balotelli, Aguero. Oh, pronunciation. I found one. Let's see if it's as wrong as the. I can't remember what was it. Ream last time. What's this sound like? Come on, work or don't. No, nothing works when I want it to work. But anyway, there was stuff from this week's news.
Excursionistas.
Oh, I kind of got it right. Anyway, we already know that we've already pre-discussed this, that we're going to do the kits for the 24-25 season. Remember, we only have one rule. It's either the best kit ever or worst kit ever. We will
This is easy then.
Yeah, I mean, it's the worst. It's the worst.
Kit ever.
Oh my
Worst kit
ever.
gosh. I mean,
And I actually mean that. I actually think that
agree.
home kit is the worst kit ever.
It's
home-
horrid, isn't it?
the
It's
home
really
kit,
not a nice
it
one.
kind of looks like you've swirled a blue raspberry slush puppy and just called it a day. I just was like, I mean, the away shirt for me looks like you've just gone for a retro bowling alley uniform. So expect a Bob name tag on the front. And the third kit, I'm going in harder. It looks like you've spilt bleach on a black t-shirt and tried to wash it out. I don't like them. I miss Adidas and we lost them.
Yeah. Well, the home shirt for me is made 10 times worse by the fact that they carried the pattern onto the shorts.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
I agree with
so-
that.
You going swimming?
The shorts,
Absolutely
the shorts
horrendous.
look like swimming trunks. The shorts do look like swimming shorts, like
It's
the sort
weird.
of thing you'd see hung up in a leisure centre.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely horrendous. It looks like something like tie-dyed, like it's got this weird 70s vibe. I don't know. But I don't know. Like they always try and make up some kind of excuse as to why they've gone with this design. For this one, I can only assume it was the acid that they were tripping on while they designed it.
The away kit's okay, but it's a bit just bland and quite boring. It doesn't seem like a lot of thought's gone into it.
This is Chelsea
third-
Football Club. You can't have bland.
The third kit's the best one of the three, in my opinion.
The black with the pink. Do you know what?
Yeah.
If it wasn't
I
for
think
that
that's
stupid
one.
vertical Nike tick, it wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah,
But
I don't know what
stupid
the
vertical
Nike
Nike
with
tick
that is.
looks stupid.
That's a new thing. It's a new.
Yeah,
It's new
I
and
don't
I
get
hate it. I know I sound like an old man yelling at cloud right now, but I hate it. Go
Why
back
did
to
they-
how it was.
Can I just say, why do
It
they
looks
keep
shit.
messing with our badge? I hate how they, like last
Yeah.
season. Why? Leave it alone. It's a nice badge. If you were going to do anything, you could just do the lion like you've done for the third kit on the home kit. Just do that then if you want to do
You
that.
know what? I can't remember. When was the last shirt we had that just had the actual club badge on it?
Hang
The
on.
sponsorless one.
Sponsorless.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah.
There's always a way.
To
Let
be
me
fair,
go
last
back.
year's kit was actually very nice. I liked last year's kit, but
It
I
was
just don't.
fine.
It seems like you
Yeah.
It was fine.
have to
Everyone-
come up with new designs every year. Although it seems that like the stuff that you see on Twitter or online, like concert kits, always look a billion times better than the kits that actually come out. It's such a shame that some of these people who are so talented aren't
Yeah.
employed by these people.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty fair. I mean, I'm looking, and the home kit for 22-23 didn't have anything messed with it.
Was that the one that had the
Weird
Sort of.
collar.
pattern on the collar? Yeah.
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 Yeah. And to be fair, that probably is one of the better ones we've had over the last few years.
Yeah, it's not great, is it? On one thing, talking of shirts, I've got the top 5 shirt sales for last season. I don't know if you've seen it.
I have.
Thiago Silva's up there.
Oh,
Isn't
well, number
Oh,
5. Number 5, we've got Mikhailo Mudryk. I don't know why
Which
anyone's
is
buying that shirt,
ridiculous.
but someone was. Number 4, it's getting cold, Mr. Palmer. Number 3, it's
Too low.
Ollie. It's not Ollie. Ollie sold all the
he?
shirts.
It's me.
Thiago Silva, it's your shout.
What an honor.
Number 2 is Reece James. And number 1, Chris, can you let us know?
Yes, Enzo Fernandez.
He's furious.
I
He's
couldn't
at-
believe- I have no idea why.
The
Like,
fact that he sold more shirts than Cole Palmer is a joke.
I don't know where that came from. Like,
How Mudryk's in the top 5 is
Yeah,
worse. Mudryk being in the top 5 is worse, by the way.
yeah, that's. I don't understand how it works. I mean, Reece James didn't even play 10 games, and yet he sold the second amount of shit. To be fair, I'd have probably bought his kit if I was going to buy anyone.
I reckon a lot of Reece James's would have been in the summer. before he got injured.
What you were going to say from his family, just going, we'll buy it. Sympathy. Oh my word! I mean, we'll see who wins it this year. Might be Enzo again.
Are we gonna talk about the Neil Bath thing then? Are we gonna do that?
Okay, go on. Go on then. Look, I don't know enough on all of the ins and outs of it all, so I was just sort of like, I don't feel I can comment fairly. I mean, Ollie, go on.
Yeah, so Neil Bath, who's been, the academy coach for the better part of 30 years, been at the club. I think it's 28 years. Is told to be. Is said that he's going to be stepping down from the end before. I think it's before next season begins. I don't think it's at the end of next season. I think it's before this season. This coming season starts. Him and his co-partner Jim Fraser. I think I've got that right. Is going with him, and from what I've seen, reports on it are pretty mixed. You've got some people who are not happy with the move, but sort of like indifferent, and then you've got people who are really unhappy with it. I personally fall into the camp of people who are not really happy with this move at all. I've seen several people say as well, like there's a lot of like PR battle type thing going on at the moment with this, because I've heard from several people that he didn't that he chose to leave. And like where it was amicable or not amicable basically. And I've heard people say it wasn't, and I've heard people say it was, like the official briefs that come out say it was. So there's a lot of confusion around this, but I can't see this as anything but a downgrade for Chelsea personally. Like I understand what they're trying to do with the academy. They're trying to integrate a system where everyone plays the same way so that you can push people higher up into the sort of the tiers of the football squad up there, right? But the thing is, and despite that integration, that's fine. But you're not going to find anyone better than Neil Bath to do that. Because he's the best academy coach in world football, arguably, right? He's been at Chelsea for 30 years and has made the Chelsea academy what it is. Anything else is a downgrade. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do. Neil Bath can do it better. I don't know. He
has done a lot. He has done a lot. Look, I'm not going to be. I'm not totally ignorant to it, but in the grander scheme of things, what it means for the academy going forward, I'm not going to even comment because I just don't know enough. I don't know, because I know he recently got promoted into this role, didn't he? He's been with us like 30 odd years. But
okay, let me put it this. Yeah. Let me put it this way for you, Mikey. Right. So imagine you were an academy player now. You say you were thinking about joining Chelsea. And your option for a coach was someone who's made Chelsea the best academy in England in the past 20 years, has been at a club for 30 years, is lauded by everyone who he works with, and then that guy leaves. You want to join him less now, don't you?
Yeah, I can totally see your point.
Right, so it weakens the academy as a result. Like I don't know, I worry about it. Could be a good totally thing. Fair. It could work out for us, like. That we have a really streamlined system where we get like talented youngsters who come straight through when they're good enough and they go on and play. But again, I don't see why Neil Bath has to leave for that to happen.
I just think with that though, and we might never find out the real reason, but until we know more information on why, because some of the reports that I've read is that he wanted to step down because he wants a break. So if that's the case, then you can't really blame the club if he wants to leave.
I agree. But then again, there are other reports that say it wasn't. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to know in it at the minute what's going on. I just think
I think it's
a big loss to the academy though.
Yeah, he was a massive servant of the club. It's a really important person that this is someone who has been at Chelsea for so long. Like he's arguably the longest running, like highest senior level member of staff left. And we've said that a few times over the past few
Although I don't think people will want to hear this, our academy is going to become less important under this ownership.
PSR.
Because but that all they're going to be doing is producing players to sell. So and they're just going to go and buy young talent who are going to come into the first team. I think you'll see very, very few academy players come into the first team now, except for to come in for 6 months to a year in and around the first team to then be sold. I think that's how it's going to be. And I think the new model is buy the best young talent rather than produce them.
Does that maybe shine a light on why Bath's gone?
Maybe if that was
Possible.
if that is the case, then it would make sense. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to wait. We'll wait and see. Really, I mean, there's not much really we can say. We don't really know. We never will know. I mean, unless
I'm
he
just
decides to
upset.
share.
I don't.
No,
I want
that's
my club
fair.
to stop
That's
changing,
fair.
man. I want our club to stop changing and for everything to like stop being like upended every week. Something new that's like historic about the club is being torn down in front of our very faces. I get it. It might be for the progress of the club. It might be a good thing in the long term. It just annoys me.
You just got to remember, like Keane said, you know, everybody's changing, and I don't feel the same. Yeah,
very good,
very true words. But hey, look, we asked you listeners what you wanted, and you said Dewsbury-Hall, and we said Scout
said,
report.
really?
Yeah, that is what we said. Yeah,
fair enough.
We said we'll do a scout report on that beautiful wedding venue that I'm never going to not keep saying about. Right, Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. So his middle name's Frank. And he plays midfield. So you know Frank Lampard. Born in Nottingham, joined Leicester City Academy in 2006, made his first team debut in a 1-0 FA Cup victory over Brentford in 2020. He didn't stay with them though that season. He went right out on loan to Blackpool for the remainder of the 1920 season, where he scored 4, set up 1 in 10 games in League One. Great league. Then the following season, he moved to Luton Town on a season-long loan where he played 40 times, scored 3, set up 6, won 4 awards at Luton's end of season awards ceremony, including Players Player of the Season. So straight away, I think we've got a baller here.
I'm just astonished.
I know. I got 4 awards. Wow, amazing. Ahead of the, I can imagine Chris his face right now. Ahead of
I'm not saying anything.
Listeners don't know, but I was told that off air to not keep bringing up stats from the Championship on this episode.
Here we go.
I haven't. No, hang on. Ahead of the 21-22 season, he made his debut against Norwich when he replaced James Maddison. Scored his first goal for the club in a 3-2 defeat to Napoli in the Europa League group stage. He's a central midfielder. He typically plays in a box-to-box role, meaning that he's going to be asked to contribute to pretty much all of the game. Obviously, he's now under the new Chelsea boss Maresca. While he was there at Leicester, he was asked to play slightly further forward and give up some of his defensive responsibilities. I felt for this report, though, I'm going to do it a little different by first reading out strengths and then weaknesses, and we could sort of just go from there. So I've got 5 incredible bullet points of his strengths. I've got work rate and stamina. He's renowned for his work rate, and he's definitely known for his stamina if you watched him play. A lot of ground covered. He's an asset in the defensive and the offensive phase of play. He's got that Duracell bunny energy, which we love to see. Technical ability, great technical skills, precise passing, dribbling. He's comfortable in possession. He can link up well. Vision, outstanding. Versatility. He's versatile. He can operate in various midfield roles. Deep line playmaker, tick. Box-to-box midfielder, tick. Or in a more advanced role, another tick. He adapts well to the different tactical setups. And final bullet point, defensive contributions. He's not afraid to put in that work. He tracks back. He makes crucial interceptions. He's good at breaking up play. And, I don't know why I said that's 4 or 5. Finally, anyway, set-piece threat, both as a taker and his aerial presence. Accurate corners, free kicks, name of his game. So, there you got his 5 strengths. I'll just quickly run through them. Work rate, stamina, technical ability, versatility, defensive contributions, set-piece threat. Do you think, which of these do you think will be the most impactful for us as a club? What do you think?
I think it's going to be everything except the set pieces, because I don't think he'll take those. But also because I think I think we're going to be losing Conor Gallagher in this window at some stage. So we need someone who's going to be that kind of, that Duracell bunny with the stamina and the defensive contributions and whatnot. But what that does make me feel like is that Dewsbury-Hall is just Gallagher with free kicks, which, I don't know. I feel like we are going to lose Gallagher in the exchange somehow. So I can't get excited for this move, man. I just can't.
Chris?
I agree with Ollie. He does work hard. I mean,
he's a good player.
He's a good player.
Some Leicester fans that I've seen on social media have been talking highly of him. in terms of he is a grafter. He does put the work rate in. I don't think anyone will have a problem with that. He's just not better than what we've got. So I just don't see.
Like in all of those things that, like you said, for his strengths, Mikey, like all of those things that you mentioned are all great things. We have people in the club who can do all of those things.
Do you want Harry Winks?
Not really.
Exactly.
The thing is, though, he's. I think you're right, Ollie. I think he's Conor Gallagher's replacement, but cares less about the club.
And he's slightly better. So
you're replacing Gallagher with someone who's apparently slightly better on the ball. We're yet to see that in the Premier League, so we'll judge him on that this season, I think. He doesn't care about Chelsea, does he? Let's be fair. He's a Leicester boy.
Yeah, but to leave your club, I mean, it was obviously Chelsea or no one because he was going to stay at Leicester because it's his team. So
no, he wasn't. He was going to go to Brighton.
Well, he turned it down.
No, he turned it down when Chelsea came in for him.
Oh,
he was on his way to Brighton until we came in.
Look, he was by far Leicester's best player, and he initiated a lot of their creation. You know, I mean, he was their playmaker, and you know, I genuinely, I always get excited when I do a scout report. I'm sure there's great ones about Petrovic and Jackson and all the others, but he adds something in midfield that we don't necessarily have in the terms of creativity. You know, driving forward with the ball, link up play, that's going to be absolutely critical in this system under Maresca. And like you said, high energy levels. I mean, yes, we've got Gallagher, but we still don't know what's going on with that. We really do not know. And the fact that he's got that delivery from a corner or a free kick, I think we're going to get a lot more chances created for our forwards to miss. Do you
really think he's going to take set pieces?
No, not a chance.
Who else would you choose? Like
Cole
corners?
For corners. Enzo Fernandez.
For corners?
Yeah.
Palmer took corners last season, didn't they?
So did Fernandez.
Why is my memory saying that they weren't great corners, though? Did we score many from corners? I remember Silva scored once.
But we're not going to score many from corners anyway. Have you seen the size of our team? It's like a midget team.
I mean, right. Look, I've got to bring up weaknesses. I found 3, and I know they're all a concern. So this is my gift to you, Chris. Weaknesses. Okay. Physicality. He lacks physical presence.
The only thing you need in the Premier League.
Shut up.
That's it.
He can get out muscled in physical duels. Consistency. He has shown flashes of that brilliance, but consistency over a long season has been challenging. But I think last season he developed quite well, and I do believe he just needs a bit of time to develop at, like, obviously the high level week in, week out stuff at obviously Premier League level. And
we're well known for giving players time.
And yeah, you could also argue his goal scoring, you know, he contributes to the build up play and the chance creation, but his record is modest, you know. So that would be kind of what he needs to add to be a more complete midfielder. Right. Every player has areas to improve. Let's not pretend they don't. Dewsbury-Hall's physicality and consistency have been noted, but do you think that, are you worried about any of those particular issues? And if you think so, how would you feel is best to overcome them?
Despite what I said, well, non-physical players can play in the Premier League. Jorginho still plays in the Premier League, and he's one of the least physical players I think I've ever seen. It's just about how you use your body, and like Jorginho is as a good example of someone who's not that physical. Kind of tends to, he plays the game slowly, or at least like that's kind of the way he plays. So like he's not always like powering and running around and doing all this stuff. But you said one of Dewsbury-Hall's things is that he is a bit of a Duracell bunny. He's going to be running around a lot, so he's going to get into lots of challenges. So for me, that's a real concern. You know, like he needs to be seriously bulking up in the gym, in my view, then, because he's going to need a low center of gravity, and it'll help him on the ball as well.
I said an aerial presence earlier, and I've just realised he's 5'10". I'm 5'10". I wouldn't say I'm aerially dominating in any situation.
No.
It's a funny thing though with headers and height, isn't it? Because like not everyone who's the same height can jump the same height, and people have different and better technique, and people have weird hang times. You know, like on all sorts. So you know, he might be an aerial presence at 5'10". I think Caicedo's 5'10" or so, and people think that he's decent in the air. So
I mean, I think one of his strengths actually kind of helps his weaknesses out. He's a smart guy. And each season, you can see how he has improved areas of his game. And, yes, of course, dropping down division and having that slower pace that the Championship does offer compared to the Premier League. Berth loves the Championship, and I do, but it is a little slower than the Premier League. But it's rougher. I mean, the transition is going to be tough. However, go on.
There's less quality in the Championship, though. So
it's fair, very fair argument.
What happens in the Championship is players can make mistakes, and it never leads to anything. So you never see them unless you watch these players every week. But what will happen in the Premier League is if he gets, let's just take the physicality for example. If he gets out muscled in midfield, it'll be a goal. 9 times out of 10, that'll end in a goal because we've seen how piss poor our defense was last season. Once people started running at them, that's why we conceded so many goals. We really struggled to defend when the ball was turned over in midfield, and this isn't necessarily his fault, but a midfield of him, Caicedo and Enzo is the least physically dominating midfield I've ever seen.
I mean, Ollie says about the gym, my NFL brain says he should bulk up and put on some more muscle, but then am I making an architect a powerhouse? Why buy a designer suit if you're just going to do the housework in it? I'm just a gym guy. I love food. I love lifting the heavy circles. I feel he should bulk up a little bit, but of course, doing that risks injury. I mean, there was something about Reece James, wasn't there? He had too much muscle, and you just think
it depends, though, don't it? It depends with him where he plays in the system. Because obviously the role of a coach is to find a system that hides their players' deficiencies. That's the job. It's to highlight their strengths and hide their deficiencies. So it depends where he plays in the system. There's been plenty of less physical players who have succeeded in the Premier League. I wouldn't say Phil Foden is overly physical. Bernardo Silva,
Juninho Paulista,
Mahrez.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There's enough players who have succeeded in the Premier League without being physical, I haven't necessarily got that problem with him. I just don't see how.
But it is kind of a problem if you're going to be someone who's sticking your boot in. Like if you're someone who's going to be tackling, we
don't allow tackles in this league anymore. We've seen that last season.
He's a high presser, isn't he? So he's like Gallagher in that sense. He's a high presser. He's got the stamina for it, so he likes to press high. So he's going to need a little bit of muscle to be able to muscle someone off the ball to win it.
Do you think he starts?
No.
Wow. Okay. I actually did I've wrote a bloody paragraph here.
Actually, I think he might.
I've wrote a paragraph, but
I could see him starting because Maresca knows him.
Yeah, I was about to say the only reason why he plays is because Maresca's there, who obviously knows him and likes him.
He's Maresca's son. He's the new Mount.
if Maresca realizes that there's someone in the squad who can do everything he can do, but is better, then he won't play. And I say if, but more likely when Maresca isn't here anymore, he won't play.
I mean, I look at it, and you got Caicedo's role as the starting 6. That will remain unchanged. You're looking at Gallagher being the competition. Durability, press leading skills. I did put down lower wages, but I don't think we've got confirmation on what the wages difference were. And obviously we don't know what Gallagher's going to get. So yeah, let's throw that out the window. I mean, you got Romeo Lavia, Chukwuemeka. They could be more competition, of course. I mean, the biggest challenge you could also argue might be Palmer, because obviously he's used on the right, but he can excel on the left side as well. And Maresca's history, he relies on familiar players. So that's why I thought it suggests he's a starter.
Do you know, there's one thing that you, I can't remember if you've mentioned it or not, Mikey, but that really actually matters when you put him in that cross-section of players of Chukwuemeka and the like, and Lavia in particular, is he's quite durable. He doesn't have a very big injury history. And that does matter.
Careful.
Until
at
now.
the moment,
let's not put that into existence.
At the moment, he doesn't. But like, that's quite an important thing for any player we sign, and it is a plus.
Yeah,
like you know, it's something. Well, it's something to say. Like, at least at the moment, he doesn't get injured all the time.
One thing I read, and I've heard from other like sort of analysts on him, and it did kind of perk my interest. It was like he's left-footed, And that's contrasting with the right-footedness of Enzo and Caicedo. So that's kind of a natural balance in a possession system. And we know Maresca's going to play possession. We know it. And he's got that ball carrying capability. And because he can effectively operate on that left channel, Chelsea need quality. And it kind of adds value there. And he does have pace to beat defenders. And he has the agility to sort of get in and out of defensive midfielders. I mean, there's a significant step. I'm not going to pretend that the Championship, you can compare the stats. No, there's a huge step up to the Premier League. It's like hiking through the Amazon for roadmap. I mean, his impressive Championship numbers suggest he could elevate his game when playing alongside better players. He's got the work ethic and he can link up. I think for me, we've all seen how players get better when they're surrounded by better players. I really should have wrote down an example, but there's always an
Billy
example.
Gilmore.
That's fair. That's a very good show, actually.
But the problem is when players like Dewsbury-Hall come to clubs like Chelsea, they sink or swim. So
yes,
either you get a Cole Palmer who thrives and develops and becomes one of the most important players in the team, or you get a Danny Drinkwater who can't cope at that level, surrounded by those players day in, day out. The expectation day in, day out of having to be at your absolute best all the time. And they end up just going out on various loans until their contract runs out. And so the problem is, I'd be more excited about this signing if he hadn't had 2 years in the Premier League before. Because everyone's talking about his stats in the Championship, but it just shows me that when you compare it to the 2 years he had in the Premier League, and then he went to the Championship and was really good after being bang average in the Premier League for 2 years, that just shows me that he's a Championship player then, or a low-end Premier League player. Yeah, he's found his level where he can be really good and he can excel. And there's been so many players like that who are Championship level players over the course of the years who have had incredible numbers in the Championship. Then they come up to the Premier League and they get nowhere near it. It's not like people have said, well, look at Mason Mount, look what he did at Derby. Yeah, but he hadn't been in the Premier League before. He had a good season in the Championship and then, to be fair, did step up to the Premier League. But no one knew. There was no evidence to suggest that he wasn't going to. Reece James, the same. It's rare that you'll see a player be average in the Premier League, go down to the Championship, be really good, and then come back to the Premier League and be good and carry that form on. It very rarely happens.
I've got some examples in front of me. I don't know if someone's going to have to help me out here. Got Oxlade-Chamberlain, Southampton to Arsenal. Theo Walcott, Southampton to Arsenal. Joe Gomez, Charlton to Liverpool. That's a good one, actually. John Stones, Barnsley to Everton. James Maddison, Norwich to Leicester.
Yeah. Like these are players who excelled in the Championship and came up and have elevated their game.
Dele Alli went from the NK Dons to Spurs as well.
The thing is, for me, with this signing,
but none of them had been in the Premier League before those moves.
But looking at Dewsbury-Hall and looking at where he fits in the squad, let's just call a spade a spade. Attacking wise, he's not better than Chukwuemeka. Defensive wise, he's not better than Gallagher, right? And so he's kind of this halfway house between the two, when we've already got both of the good ends of that spectrum. So it just seems to be like the only reason we're signing him is because Maresca knows him. He barely ever gets injured, and he had a good season in the Championship. There are good reasons, but just I don't like it when people are making things out like he's some kind of world beater, because he just isn't.
No, I don't think he's a world beater, but I'm going to say potential, but he's 25. That doesn't exist.
26 soon.
Oh no.
I think the thing with Dewsbury-Hall is he's a good signing. He's not an exciting signing, and he's not a signing that comes in and instantly you think will come in and instantly elevate the team. He's just another player who might be good, might be shit. It's not. The reality is, and for there's so many people, and I don't mind people being positive. I really don't. But some people take it way too far, and I think that's when it starts to annoy me. Is you can say, oh, I think he's a good signing. Look, bit like you, Mikey. You're happy with the signing. You think he's a good sign to have around the squad. Fair enough. That's fine. But I'm telling you now, if Maresca isn't our manager, we don't sign Dewsbury-Hall.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. But then again, I'm going to throw it in and say, if Sarri wasn't our manager, we wouldn't sign Jorginho.
No, that's
Jorginho
true.
also had his deficiencies, though.
He was a good player. I know it's coming from Napoli. Someone's going to point that out. I know he played for Napoli.
You are absolutely right, though. And you look at Jorginho, he was good under Sarri, where he knew the system. But then under other managers after Sarri left, sometimes he was good, sometimes he really struggled.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying with and I'm telling you, right, I'm putting this on record. Dewsbury-Hall is nowhere near Jorginho's level.
Get
not
out of
even
town.
close.
What?
Not
no,
even.
I know.
Not even close, and probably never will be. So, my problem with signing him for Maresca is I don't believe Maresca's going to be here in 12 months. So it's just another player who next summer you're going to be thinking,
how the hell are we going to get rid of this guy?
How are we going to get rid of him now? Because who wants him?
I mean, Jorginho, I've got to give. I mean, one of them has won the Champions League, the Europa League, the Euros, and was third in the Ballon d'Or. Jorginho finished third in the Ballon d'Or. I remember.
I still think now Jorginho is one of our most underrated players ever.
Oh yeah, he got so much shit for no reason.
He got so much hate for no reason.
I didn't like his penalty style, but that's irrelevant. I mean, you're a good player. You're a good player. I miss him, but hey, he went to Arsenal. Is what it is.
What I will say about Dewsbury-Hall, though, if because people will constantly talk about how it's only negative stuff, is I wasn't overly excited by the Cole Palmer signing either, and then look how that worked out. So sometimes these signings that are a little underwhelming when we make them do turn out to be the better ones. So there is a chance that could happen.
Yes, that is. Yeah, I mean,
I want to go on record and say that I was actually quite excited for the Palmer signing. I think a lot of people. Yeah, I genuinely was. Like, I was like not like super excited, but I was like, yeah, he seems decent. When a lot of people were slagging him off at the time.
We're having McDonald's for tea. Yeah, that kind of excited. I mean, we all touch on it when I boarded that plane in Dublin. I was just like, Cole Palmer, okay. I didn't really expect anything. So the fact that we're now talking about him as, if you'd have said to me this time last year, we're going to sign Cole Palmer and he's going to be our best player of the team, I would say that we're in a relegation battle. On top of that, if you'd have said that he was pretty much one of the signings of the season, I would just laugh. There's no way.
Yeah.
So it happens. I mean, looking ahead, how do you feel overall? Like, sum it up. How do you feel about this signing?
I feel conflicted. I'm going to support him. I want to make it very clear that, like, even though I'm not his biggest fan, I am going to be supporting him. And everyone else who, he's not their biggest fan either, you should probably support him too. Because the only way these players do prove us wrong is if we back them. I think he will be decent at best for us, and that'll do.
Chris?
I'm pretty much the same. I don't think not being excited about signing him means that you're not backing him. I don't not back any Chelsea player. Like I said, I want every single one of our players to play well, because if they do, then we're going to win games, and that's all I care about, really. So I don't have agendas against people, despite what people think or say.
That's why we really leaned into the Enzo stuff just as a joke, and then people just started to take it.
People take it really seriously. Like, people took the joke and they made it not
Enzo. We really don't.
But yeah, I've got nothing against you, Paul. I think he's a perfectly decent player. I'll judge him on how he plays, the same as every other player we have. If he plays well, I'll say he's good, and if he doesn't, then I'll say I told you so.
Yeah, that's ultimately it. Like, he's gonna get his option. Like, he's gonna get his chance, the same as everyone else. And like,
exactly.
But then, like, he should be held to those standards. Like, he's gonna just judge him like you would any other player.
100%. For me, I do feel this is a smart signing. I'm not saying it's a worldie. We've not hit it out the park. I think it's a smart signing because 30 million in today's market is solid business. It used to get you Dimitar Berbatov, but those days are long gone. There's no point comparing. Those days aren't coming back. But I look at Dewsbury-Hall, and he does remind me of someone I've watched recently quite often, and it's Denmark and Celtic's Matt O'Reilly. They sort of share similar attributes, and I think they're both versatile players anyway, and they've got high work rate, technical skills, and that tactical flexibility, which is so critical in especially possession based, depending on how we switch it up. And he played his best football under Maresca, and I just see him becoming a key part of the team. I mean, he's got the attitude. Attitude does matter so much, and Chris has got a very good point. If Maresca was to go, I would worry. The same with like the Jorginho Sarri thing. When Dad leaves, you worry.
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Let us know, listeners, what you think of Dewsbury-Hall. Whether you're going to go there this summer or not.
And if and if you do disagree with us, let us know and tell us why. Because like it's always good to
that's
hear,
the
like,
point.
other reasons why. You know, like we are not the authority on all things Chelsea. If you disagree with us, that's allowed, and so you can say so. Tell us.
Exactly. Right, Quaresma's questions to answer some of your questions. Cold Palmer, not the actual Cole Palmer. It might be the Cole Palmer. I don't know. But Cole Palmer has asked. First up, are there any football clubs in Europe that you simply hate or cannot stand?
Oh, in Europe, so not in the Premier League.
I know. I was going to put Spurs and City straight away, and I thought I can't. Well, they're in Europe, but but Europe.
I mean, as a Chelsea fan, I don't like Bayern and I don't like Barcelona.
Oh,
I don't like Barcelona. I don't really know why. I've always leaned more to Real Madrid, and I think you have to pick one of the two there. I don't think
is it the goal music? Madrid.
I don't think you.
You know what? I think
that is better.
It's because I think Chelsea and Real Madrid for the longest time at least were a lot more aligned on like the same sort of idea about like having practical football and winning trophies over beautiful football, which is what kind of was Barca's thing for a long time.
Oh, I've got to pull that out now. Oh, classic.
I also don't like PSG. I think
I don't care for them, but like I could.
Yeah, but just because, how can you have that much money and still be that shit?
Oh my word! For Ollie, just because he said Bayern, I love that. Barcelona had to hear that how many times? I went a bit off script. I always do. That's the kind of wacky, crazy guy I am. I've picked particular teams, actual particular teams here. So first up, I got Juventus, but from 2018 to 2021, aka the Cristiano Ronaldo years. I didn't like them. I just felt that was unfair, they were dominating, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. And then Barcelona, but from 2022 onwards, aka the Liverpooling era, because I used to love Barca. I've got a Xavi shirt in my drawer. I absolutely loved it. It's the one where Cesc Fabregas. It's the line down the mid. You know what I mean? It's like that weird,
I know
radiant effect. Yeah, it's that beautiful kit. And I loved watching Ronaldinho, Deco, David Villa, Zlatan, just so many names. But once they started pulling those levers and took Christensen and Koundé from us, get in the trash. I don't want you. I was so unhappy about it. Koundé. Really hurt me. I don't think
that was a massive loss in the end, by the way.
No. I don't think
I can't remember what I said at the time, but like I'm not missing him now, if you know what I mean.
I don't think I've ever forgive Barcelona for the Iniesta goal.
Yeah, that's the one for me. I think it's just like I don't think that's the sort of thing like historical rivalries just like are born off. It's a game that every Chelsea fan knows and just hates.
I'm just going through the kit history. When was that kit that they had that I loved? I don't think it was that.
I want to say
12, 13.
20. Yeah, I was gonna go 2011 there. Just
look it up, listeners. It's a bloody beautiful kit. It's gorgeous. It just is gorgeous. And West Blue One has asked, do you think Dewsbury-Hall is actually any improvement on our current midfield? And also, does his arrival mean the exit of Conor Gallagher?
Yes.
No and yes.
Yeah. Really simple. No, yes.
I
there's
mean,
no way. There's no way.
Fit. If he stays fit, he's instantly one of our best players.
There's no way Gallagher, Chukwuemeka, Lavia all stay.
We haven't
with
even
the signing
seen
of Dewsbury
Lavia
Hall.
actually play.
I know.
But,
But there's no, I just don't see how you can keep them three as well as Dewsbury-Hall and Enzo and Caicedo. I just don't see how you can have that many players for those positions, especially when realistically Caicedo is going to play every game and Enzo has to play every game because he sells the most shirts.
The thing is, as well, though, like I don't mind having a lot of good, like having a lot of strong midfield depth. It was only a little while ago we had like what was it? It's like Deco, Ballack, Makalele, Lampard,
yes,
Essien, all at the same time in the team, and I don't know, like so we
But we
found a way
was
to
in the
fit all them in.
But we was in the Champions League and winning titles. Then you're not going to keep them players happy if you're sixth
That's a good
and
point.
not winning anything. That's the difference. It's the way Man City do it. The way Man City can have really good players sat on the bench is because they win stuff.
yeah, you're right. You're right. I can't argue with that. We'll have to see how it goes. I mean, I think Gallagher is all about that contract. It's all about that contract. If he doesn't get one this summer, then we'll.
No, whatever happens, Gallagher's fate is sealed. I'm convinced of this because
I agree.
come in. Either he's going to leave this summer, or he's going to sign a plus 1 year deal so he can he'll get the Mount treatment. A plus 1 year deal nothing will happen. He'll go for some fee at the end of next season.
I really want to re-listen to one of the episodes. You said about the Jules Koundé thing. I've actually pulled it up and it was Jules Koundé. This was the title of the episode. It says, Jules Koundé is a blue. Chelsea silence Barcelona with £55 million deal. Oh, my word. I'm going to listen to that back after this.
Terrible title.
It was awful. Just,
well done,
yeah,
I love that. That's absolutely shameless.
He was a blue. He was a blue. And then he wasn't.
I love that.
Yeah. What was that? What year was that? 2022. Oh, we just do. Anyway, I'm going to play because Berth skipped out, but hey, doesn't matter. The carousel keeps on playing, keeps on turning. Everyone knows the drill. Everyone knows it. You've got the Jason Cundy alarm. If you take too long, it's a category game, and the category is Gianluigi Buffon. And I just got this question. England fielded 18 different goalkeepers between Buffon's first and last game for Italy. How many of them can you name? So he made his Italy debut against Russia in October 97. First choice for almost 2 decades. But he retired in 2018. So you got 97 to 2018. There are 18 names that were England goalkeepers. They played for England during this time.
Oh, hold on. Wait, can I just clarify before we start?
Yeah.
Do you mean they made at least one appearance for England?
Yes. Even as a, sub.
Or what about if they was in a squad but didn't play?
Well, according to this, it said fielded 18, so I'm guessing they genuinely played.
Actually played, okay.
Yeah. So Ollie, because I feel that the 90s is going to be a tough one for you. You're the youngest. You get the first name.
Okay. I'm going to go with Joe Hart.
Yes.
David Seaman.
Yeah.
David James.
Yes.
Oh, good one. Paul Robinson.
Yes.
What a name. Rob Green.
Yes.
He was there.
Legend.
Did you say up to 2018? Sorry.
2018.
Jordan Pickford.
Yeah.
That was going to be mine. Oh, Jack Butland.
Yes.
Scott Carson.
Yes.
Terrible keeper.
Running out of keepers now.
How many
Forster?
Yes. Scott Carson has 2 Champions League trophies.
Who did you say then, Ollie? Sorry, it cut out a little bit.
Fraser
Forster.
Fraser Forster. Okay. Ben Foster.
Yes.
Nick Pope?
Yes.
Oh, tell you what, that is a good shout.
7 left.
He had like 1 game for England, didn't he?
7 left.
7 left.
Trying to think, early 2000s or mid 2000s. Said David James, I think he did earlier. What about Dean Henderson?
He hasn't. Oh, you're out.
Has France been said?
No, Berth. No, they haven't. They haven't been said.
Oh, that was brilliant.
I'll give you the rest. You know I was saving that. Chris Kirkland, Ian Walker. That's a proper old school name.
Wow.
John Ruddy, Nigel Martin, Richard
Wait,
Wright.
John Ruddy played for England.
Yeah, one
Yeah,
game.
this what? Wow.
Tim Flowers and Tom Heaton.
I'll be honest, I didn't know who the majority of those people were.
Yeah, a lot of them was.
I genuinely, I think the furthest back I can remember an England goalkeeper is, I think it might be Paul Robinson. You know,
I'm going to look up the international career. He made his debut. Hang on. He came on for Jack Butland at half-time to make his debut against Switzerland.
Wow.
Good for him. I bet he really relished that moment.
Well, he played once. I kept a clean sheet, and that was it.
Well, maybe they could get him in for the next game against Switzerland because
he's still playing.
I'm not happy with.
He's at Newcastle. I don't know how that happened, but he's at Newcastle now.
Good for him, man.
Wow, 37. Oh, what's that? Hazard's headliners. I always do the double. I'll do the double.
Lovely.
Someone's in the news. Clues progress. They get easier. So, first clue is he has played for 5 London clubs. 5 London clubs.
That's not an easy one.
No, it's not. It's not. So, second clue. As a player, he played with, at club level, Michael Owen, Freddie Ljungberg, and Dimitar Berbatov. Club level.
Ooh.
Wait, who was that first name?
Michael Owen.
Michael Owen.
You know, the man who throws darts at people, apparently.
So that's either Liverpool, Newcastle, or Stoke.
Yeah, so he's played for 5 London clubs and another one, at least.
So you don't think this guy went to Real Madrid? He didn't go to Real Madrid.
No.
So he's clearly at Arsenal, probably Spurs as well.
Well, yeah, it must be Arsenal and Spurs because Berbatov only played for Spurs in London.
Yeah.
3. He won West Ham United's Hammer of the Year award for 3 years in a row, which is where he played with Freddie Ljungberg.
Is it Scott Parker?
It's Scotty Parker. Yeah. Where did he play with Berbatov?
Spurs.
No, Fulham.
Oh, Fulham. Oh, I forgot Berbatov went there, didn't he, when he was old?
Yeah. So, clue 4 was the last club he played for was Fulham. Managed 2 years later after retiring. And 5th, he has managed Fulham, Bournemouth and Club Brugge. And why is he in the news? Because he's set to become the new Burnley manager.
Oh, good for Scott.
Yeah, I seen that the other day.
Good for him.
I mean, Dimitar Berbatov.
That's how shallow the manager pool is.
Did Scott Parker get any England caps in the end? He got like 1.
Loads. He got loads. I remember him playing quite a lot.
Sorry, I'm thinking of Mark Noble, aren't I?
Yeah, let me pull up his internationals. I'm pretty sure he played a lot. He played 18 times, which is
quite a lot. No, I think I was thinking of Mark Noble.
I still cannot believe that he won the PFA Young Player of the Year whilst he was at Chelsea in 03-04. I don't know. He did
back when that award meant something.
I mean, he did join us in the January from Charlton, so it was kind of like half and half. But
okay, well, I actually don't remember him ever having a good game for us. So
I remember him signing and then being sold.
Yeah, that's all I remember. Holding up the shirt and then leaving.
It's a bit like same sort of era was when we signed Sean Wright-Phillips. I was about 12 and I was like, oh, wow. Oh, and everyone was kicking off going, Chelsea destroying the game, signing the best youth players. And he did nothing for us.
The more things change, eh? The more they stay the same.
Sean Wright-Phillips' son plays now. That's how old I feel. Wow. DiMaggio Wright-Phillips plays for... I think he did play for Stoke. I think he's left though since.
Wow,
it's a good call.
And he gets worse. He's 22. So
I would advise that to anyone currently in Stoke. Just get out.
Also, Sean Wright-Phillips' brother, Bradley Wright-Phillips, is an MLS icon.
Oh, he is one of the goats of MLS. Like genuinely, as someone who loves that league, he is out. Like Hotzi Altidore. When he played in Premier League, shocking, awful. MLS, wow, Messi. More
Giovanni
Ronaldo.
Dos Santos as well.
Oh, great names.
And Carlos Vela.
Oh, he's
Nani. He's kind of
good. He was good for Orlando. Very good. Right. We're at the end of another episode. Thank you, as always, for listening. Treat yourself well. We're going to be back on Monday. I think we're doing a bit of free agents, so it's a bit of fun. And then eventually it's going to be the Euros predictions review, and I can't wait. I know who I picked. Oh, no. One of them's all right. The rest, shit. So, till then, that is going to be us. Sign out. You've been listening to At The Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At The Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.